People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you for tuning in. Now, not really anything to speak about of significance, but I might as well speak about a couple things. First thing I wanted to speak about was Calum Chambers. Now, he is Arsenal's utility man. If we're honest, right now, he's on merit and playing good and whatnot. He should be one of the first names on the team sheet together with currently Saka on that left wing and Joe Willock in that midfield. And obviously Aubameyang, because they're the man them that are playing good right now. So in terms of merit, he should be there, people. But in terms of excluding that, if you're asking Emery to probably name, if someone had a gun to his head and said, name your best 11 to play out there right now, he's probably not going to name Chambers in that team. So with that being said, he's probably not in Arsenal's, in Emery's thinking, his best 11 and whatnot. So he's clearly not seen as a centre-half. Right back, if he's fit, is Bellerin. Midfield, he's clearly not going to get a chance there. Chambers should, on merit, be in the team. And right now, the right-back spot is up for grabs. Bellerin, we need to not put pressure on him. We know that's his spot. I don't like to think spots are given, but he's the best right-back in the team. A full-fit Bellerin is going to start and play significantly. What that potentially means for Maitland-Niles in terms of game time and Chambers, I don't know. Now, Chambers has had terrible games at playing as a fullback, let's be honest, but in terms of game time, it could be something for him to get because Bellerin is still being nursed back because of Maitland-Niles' suspension previously and his loss of form. That could be a route for him to play games. Fair enough, it's Nottingham Forest, but he played quite well there and he played well in the Europa League. So I'm sure he'll accept games wherever they'll come. Whether that's his position or not, we know it isn't, and he'll have to cross that bridge when it comes. But in terms of game time, that is one that could open up. In terms of form, him and Holding, we've seen them destroyed together, but Holding and Chambers right now, there's no reason why we shouldn't try them out ahead of potentially Socrates and Luiz, just purely based on form. So I'm interested to see what happens in regards to Calum Chambers. Moving away from that, I've seen young Miguel Aziza signed a new deal, and that's terrific. Our under-18s or our first-year scholars, I'd describe our first initial month or so into the league as difficult, as testing, and that's what you want. We've got a young squad now. We're defending the league title at that level, relatively, people. We've got a young squad. Our form has been indifferent. Miguel Aziza has played quite well. He's a very cultured footballer. He's good technical ability. Your name can't be Miguel Aziza and you got the hair and you're not a baller. He's a baller, people. I think potentially he can reach first team, but I'm not trying to put any labels on him. If he develops, works hard, and things happen for him, I think he's a potential Arsenal first team up in that central midfield in a role because he's very technically sound, man. Very technically sound. I'm happy he signed a new deal because him and Musa last season were getting opportunities. Musa elected to join, obviously, Valencia. Monster, sorry, I keep mispronouncing his name. He elected to join Valencia to continue his development. And young players are leaving clubs in England all the time, people. Are leaving clubs in England all the time. So it's nice to see he's tied down now. It's nice to see, obviously, off the back of that, Tyrese, obviously, not too long ago, signed a new deal with the 23s. It's nice to obviously see Joe signed a new deal. I'm missing Saka, hopefully, signs a new deal. Sam Greenwood signed a new deal. It's nice to see that these young players are believing their futures here. It's nice to see that we're protecting our investments to a degree. And it's nice to see that we can have players potentially for the future. You lot know me, I love you football. I try my best to cover what I can for Arsenal. I love you football. I want 11 academy players, but I know that's an impossible dream. I think there's a good 5, 6 that can progress, and there's even more, in fact. But potential is just a buzzword. Sadly, some players are going to fall by the wayside. There's obviously lack of opportunity. Different things are going to happen. But we need to keep being a club that produces our own. Like you're seeing with potentially Saka right now. Like you're also seeing... like you're seeing with Saka, Nelson, Joe, all of these guys in and amongst the first team, people. So yeah, speaking of young players, Martinelli, first start at the Emirates, 2 goals. Lovely for his confidence. A guy from relative humble beginnings, 2nd division in Brazil, Arsenal Football Club. Brazil and Arsenal, a Brazilian young player from Arsenal Football Club is going to set alarm bells. So there's a lot of pressure. He's still developing, but I believe there's positive building blocks. I don't feel he'll play up front too many times. If he does develop into that, that'll be him. And he scored 2 goals and out-jumped someone. But I feel he prefers to come onto the ball and rather than trying to be a focal point. He could be a decent winger, and he's made his own little bit of history, people. He's obviously the first Brazilian to score a brace for Arsenal since Baptista against Spurs in January 2007. This is all courtesy of Opta Joe. What's the other thing I saw? He's obviously at 18 years of age and 98 years old. at 18 years, 98 days, people, apologies for butchering that. He's the youngest player to score in their first start for Arsenal since Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's playing right now for Liverpool, against Shrewsbury Town in 2011. I was at that game. So it's a nice, positive little bit of history for Martinelli. It's a nice moment for his family that were watching him and whatnot. For me, I want him to remember that feeling of scoring goals and people buzzing. Remember that feeling and make that drive you in training, because that is what you want. These young players, without being cocky, they want to be playing week in, week out in front of fans, adored and whatnot. He's going to go through positive moments and whatnot and tough moments, but it is what it is. I really like what I've seen from Martinelli. In terms of us, it says it maintains our victory yesterday, confirms that we've lost none of our last 32 home league cup matches against sides from a lower division. We've won 29, drawn 3 and lost none, obviously, winning all 10 played at the Emirates. Obviously, that stat is a bit shrewd because we lost to Spurs. Really, they should be in the lower division if I had my way, banter Spurs fans, but it's decent. In terms of that, Reece Nelson's 4th goal for Arsenal against Nottingham Forest last night ended a sequence of 24 passes between 10 of Arsenal's 11 players on the pitch at the time. The longest pass sequence for the Carabao Cup since September the 25th, 2018. So yeah, man, decent stat. Obviously, ironically, you see Nelson and Guendouzi on the Golden Boy list. My honest opinion is neither player will win it, but it's good recognition for the development Nelson made with Hoffenheim, and Guendouzi obviously playing significantly for Arsenal and being called up for France in the recent internationals, and he didn't play, but it's recognition for your hard work sort of thing. So yeah, I don't feel there's anything more to add on that front. I mean, there's nothing really going on with Arsenal, in fact, really. I mean, Liverpool's playing, for any context. I've just read Pep Guardiola talking in relation to the controversy that surrounds Medley and obviously Bernardo Silva. I did see Tim Sherwood talking people about how Aubameyang shouldn't have passed the penalty to Pepe and whatnot, and a bit of it is just to stay relevant. Clearly, ironically, I don't think he's necessarily wrong, beyond just being gassed and whatnot. Because if he missed, there would have been answers to pay. But we know at Arsenal we do this camaraderie. Didn't Lacazette give it to Aubameyang one time? Didn't Lacazette receive it from Aubameyang? Pepe's a good penalty taker in his own front. Look how many he scored for Leo, and obviously. It's not the most glamorous of goals, and Pepe needs to put in better performances to a degree, still developing, but it's that monkey off his back. He scored his first goal at the Emirates. That's the first one off his back because people are looking, when's the first goal and whatnot, for all the good potential, in my opinion, that I think he's shown. So yeah, don't feel there's anything else to add. I've typed in Arsenal's people, and sadly, I really want to speak on this, but I've just typed it in and I can't not speak about it. Apparently a young Arsenal fan, Tashan Daniel, was fatally stabbed on a platform in Hillington Station. Apparently he was going to watch the Arsenal game. Now, that's shocking because at the end of the day, he's 20 years of age. He's got a mother, he's got a family. No son nor daughter should have to be buried by their loved ones. And like I said, man, you never know when your time's up. Not that it should have been. I'm not saying anything, but he was going to watch the team that he loved, and I was at Arsenal, obviously went on Arsenal Fan TV, and I'm here making this vid. A lot of people went to the game and had a good time. This guy left to go to his game and not to return, so hopefully God gives his family strength. Hopefully his family, obviously my thoughts and them things are with them at this difficult time. It is quite sad. So yeah, man, my hoping everybody's able to get through what they're going to get through at this difficult time. What else was I going to say, people? In better news, Cohen Bramwell helped Colchester dump Spurs out on penalties last night and whatnot. So it's nice to see a former Arsenal lad getting one over on the Spurs for us. That's nice. That's nice to see. So I don't feel there's anything else to add. Shout out to Lumber, because I did read a couple reports how young players were talking about how good he's been for them and how he helps to translate what Emre necessarily can't get across because of the language barrier and whatnot. It's nice to see that, people. Shout out to Santi Cazorla as well, because he bossed Barcelona and scored as well, and he's played good against Real Madrid and Barca. If you remember my vid about should we have kept him, we probably shouldn't, but hindsight's a lovely thing and we'd all probably say we should now, people. But on that note, it's been a lovely time, but I'm going to go eat my dinner and have a shower. People, Deluded, I'm out. Stay safe, stay blessed, I'm out.